What's good, y'all? Here with another video, and today we're gonna be reacting to Shonen Showdown, hot takes anime TikTok. I just wanted to say I said it on my last video, my Yakuza video, RP Akira Toriyama. I personally haven't watched all of Dragon Ball, like I haven't finished it, but I know that he influenced a lot of anime that I do watch, and with me, I just got into anime like 4 years ago, so this is literally like it does suck because he's kind of like the godfather of anime, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people probably say that he's like that guy when it comes to anime in general, especially shonen anime. He set a lot of standards for like what like shonen characters do. Just training and the power ups and working with your friends to beat older, I mean, not older, but beat stronger people, stuff like that. Just all the tropes that you could think of as an anime character. A lot of them started with Dragon Ball, Goku and Vegeta. So, yeah, I just wanted to say, RP Akira Toriyama. I appreciate the work that he's done and everything. So, I also wanted to say, with my schedule, I'm going to be having some I'm gonna be more busy than I was. So the way that the uploads are going, it might not be as consistent going forward. I probably do like at least like one or two videos a week because I won't be able to make those videos every day of the week because I'm gonna be really busy. So yeah. Yeah. Other than that, let's just get into the video, man.
Now, I know this is not what we typically do here, as I try my hardest on this channel to stray away from covering any negative topics or anything, because I really want this to be a place where we can celebrate, have fun, but this one is very important. This one hits close to home. As I'm sure you guys have already heard, the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, has passed away. We've said his name a million times on this channel. We've covered Dragon Ball Z content a million times on this channel. Dragon Ball Z was my gateway anime. It's one of my favorite anime of all time. As I'm sure it has impacted millions of people around the world, Akira Toriyama is one of the greatest to ever do it. He has cemented himself as a legend in this business. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be the man I am today if he did not take a chance on himself and he did not chase his dreams to inspire all of us to go after what we want in our lives. A celebrity death hasn't hit me this hard since Kobe Bryant has passed. So again, make sure you guys always show love to your loved ones. Keep them close to you. I pray God keeps him close to him up in heaven, keeps his family and friends safe. And listen, even if you don't believe, you could still show love. This one is very, very tough. Man, I don't even know how to do this. And to Akira Toriyama, I'll do the best I can to continue to celebrate your works because I will still continue to be a fan of Dragon Ball. You are loved by millions around the world. You will continue to be celebrated, and we miss you.
Yeah, that's sad, man. It makes me want to go and actually like finish Dragon
Yo, it's Rob here from Shonen Showdown. Welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes of Anime and TikTok. I think we're at part 20, man. Let's do it.
What we're not going to do is compare regular observation hockey to the Sharingan.
Strawhead, you know I had to make a video, bro. But honestly, I don't care who wins in this fight, Sasuke or Luffy. I'm just here to correct some misinformation. ND was never comparing regular observation to the Sharingan. He was comparing future sight specifically, where they are able to see into the future when they're calm.
Okay, so this is obviously a very, very interesting topic because when you're talking about comparing the Naruto verse going up against the One Piece verse, a lot of people are always debating whether future sight observation haki would be able to be used against a Sharingan type technique. So let's see what he has to say.
To the Sharingan 3 Tomoe, because Sasuke is able to do the same exact thing. Literally, Sasuke is looking into the future. That's why he knows what move Naruto's gonna do next. So the thing that's comparable here is Future Sight and the Sharingan, because they're doing the exact same thing. Now, like you said, with basic observation haki, you can be blind like how Fujitora is and still be able to make out what things and people are and what they're doing exactly. What Fujitora is doing with basic observation haki is what regular sensory type shinobi do in Naruto. They're able to read the location of where people are at, what type of room they're in, and where they're specifically located at. They could even see the different shapes of the people too, all with their eyes closed. That would mean that regular sensory shinobis are doing the exact same thing that regular observation hockey can do. Oh, I know you asked, when has Sasuke moved so fast that he created clones of himself like Luffy did in the latest chapter of One Piece. Unfortunately, Sasuke has never did this, but the person he was fighting and beating up was able to do this. There you go, Naruto moving so fast that there are multiple copies of him.
All right, so that was a decent explanation. I do have some issues with it. The first one is the fact that the Sharingan being compared to observation hockey should stay at that. When he was bringing up those very, very great points about being able to sense enemies in surrounding areas, even being able to make out the shapes of the enemies, being able to even predict certain movements, he's correct. The Sharingan can do that. Also, base observation hockey. Keyword here, base, can do the exact same thing. He's right about that. When you move on to future sight, that is beyond the slight predictability from a Sharingan. That is beyond the slight predictability from the observation hockey. The future sight is literally showing you what your opponent's going to be doing well within the future, giving you an opportunity to react before it even happens. This is completely different than having a slight predictability movement or even sensing enemies throughout the surrounding area. The future sight observation hockey is literally giving you a play-by-play. Because if we're going to be serious here, Sharingan users have even predicted wrong movements. It's been shown throughout Naruto. It's happened before. Future Sight gets rid of that because it shows you the entire play-by-play. Really, the only counters to Future Sight that we know so far in the One Piece world are having the ability to cut off observation hockey, i.e. Shanks in Film Red, or you have to outspeed them. That's it. I'm not refuting his Naruto points, but I definitely need to highlight that Future Sight observation hockey and base observation hockey are not the same thing.
Okay, them RDC boys want to know what Avatar Nation is.
I still think it's
All right, so we got
similar.
my boy Anime Sundays here. Let's see what he has to say.
Some of y'all have seen my comment under this post, and I'm standing on business. It is the Fire Nation. I'm still waiting for y'all to name one historical event that the Fire Nation has successfully completed their mission without the comment. Literally, the Fire Nation has been still trying to take over all the other nations completely for 100 years, and there's no Avatar to stop them. Now, I think people are just genuinely sleep on the power of military intent and strategy. The nature of the Fire Nation is to find the easiest way to overthrow without having to expend the most power. If the other nations thought like the Fire Nation, they would have wiped them off the map, but that is not their MO. So for y'all saying they still completed their overall goal, it's like, yes, that's because the other nations weren't moving like that. It doesn't mean.
And I think that was a shout out to the air nomads. I think that's what that shout out was.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people say that the air nomads were the weakest. I don't think so. They're more pacifist. Like they're more nice. They're not looking for war. They're not looking for battle. So I don't, it's just a different mindset.
Because if the airbenders were really serious, if they were not mainly pacifists, it would be a problem for the Avatar world. We know what it is already.
Mean they're weaker than the Fire Nation. Now we have to stop the airbender disrespect. Oh, they got wiped off first. You see every day that one airbender is literally like 3 firebenders, if not more. And
There you go.
The common argument of, well, water is the weakest, but it's like the average waterbender with less intense military training be packing up multiple firebenders all the time. I just look at it as if you look at the average firebender fighter and the average water, air, or earthbender, most of the time the firebenders are trash. They be having to jump niggas multiple times.
Yeah.
Now, of course, every nation has their elite prodigies, but when you really look at the best of the best, the fire prodigies are still the weakest ones.
All right, so a lot was said there by Anime Sunday.
I can't
He's
really
going
say.
with the Fire Nation. I think what he broke down is spot on, but I do think that we have to highlight the shortcomings of the water benders. I think that you have to understand, first of all, they have an elemental advantage on the Fire Nation. Second of all, when you talk about just nations that should be up to snuff, they literally had nobody that really was up to snuff. I mean, they need to have more people there that are competent, elite waterbenders. We know that on paper, if you get a great waterbender against a group of firebenders, the waterbender should win. But if we're talking about what's going on within the lore of Avatar: The Last Airbender,
I didn't watch Korra, but I know that I believe that in the Avatar and the Avatar cartoon, there wasn't a lot of people in the water tribe who could water bend. So especially women, I think. And Katara seemed like the only one who could water bend in her tribe, and all the water benders were in the other part of the tribe. So I mean, I don't know.
What's been happening even in Korra and stuff like that. The Water Nation has not really been living up to their full potential. And that's why I feel like we have to look at them and say, listen, you guys have the ability to bloodbend. Why are there not more bloodbenders outside on the move? We know that the full moon, everything like that, but there are bloodbenders that have been able to do it without the full moon. We know it's possible. We've seen it in Korra. So why are there not more outside? Why aren't there not more elite waterbenders? We know that an average waterbender should be stronger than an average firebender, but we have to also understand through the lore of Avatar The Last Airbender, the Water Nation has not been living up to their full potential. So I really think it's between water and fire, because what Anime Sunday said about fire, it's spot on now. Sozin's Comet, they're planning, they're doing all of these things, and they still are failing. You have to look at them and say you have too many L's on your score sheet. But I think the Water Nation should definitely be highlighted as well. We have to look at them and say what's going on. I mean, you have Hama and Katara that are the standouts from waterbenders, and that's about it. I mean, what's going on? All right, so we got my guys over at Super Anime Podcast. You guys can see Kumar is here. We have Frieren or JJK. Which one has the better fight scene?
I never
This is
watched
going
Frieren.
where I think this is going. We're in
never
for a good
watched
one.
it.
Let's see.
There was a fight scene that came out with the anime the same day or the same week when the Maharaga Sukuna fight came out. And I was like, oh nah, Frieren looks way better. Granted.
Hold on. Oh man.
I never seen Frieren.
I
so
love
can't
Frieren.
even-
I've loved every episode I watched of Frieren. The one thing I find very interesting about the Frieren fights is that Frieren looks so indifferent. Frieren looks like nothing phases her at all whatsoever, and it's even to the point that it's rubbing off on Fern. Okay, Fern is in mid-battle against demons, looks like nothing is happening, nonchalant, is not worried about her life at all. And we know that Frieren is obviously a completely powerful mage. She boosted up Fern's power level as well, so we get all of that. But when you're talking about the fights, I mean, they don't even look like they're in it. The fights are fire, but they don't even look like they have any passion. They're just so nonchalant about it because they are that powerful. They are that elite.
That JJK episode, they were only 30% complete with animating it because the animator was on such a time crunch. So that fight could have looked way better.
He's absolutely right about that. Mappa was ran into the ground doing that last season of JJK. It is what it is. I mean, Sukuna versus Maharaga, I think the fight still was amazing, but there was a higher ceiling.
Isn't One Punch Man coming out too? Yeah, I feel bad for the mapper animators, bro.
That the animators wanted to reach, and they weren't able to reach that due to a time crunch.
But the Maharaga Sukuna fight compared to that one, I'm just saying, like, Frieren is that good. It's that good. The fight, like I said, and when you're dealing with mages and magic, you don't think the fights could be that crazy, but it's pretty sick. And there's one character in that show in Frieren that has an axe, and he has an axe fight with another axe.
Shout out Stark.
And that was like, you think like swords are the coolest thing. Axes are like kind of like, only dwarves and big bulky characters use dwarf. Like they were the amount of finesse with just the axe fight was insane. Like you gotta watch it. That's all I could say. You gotta watch it.
As I said, I love Frieren. Am I ready to give it JJK level animation type hype? Come back to me. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I do love more people are checking out Frieren, and it definitely does have some fire fight scenes in there. The Mappa is a studio we can't really play around with. I'm being so serious when I say that.
The whole anime takes you have.
This one's a spicy one. Okay.
So a lot of people have opinions on Attack on Titan, on like whether it's fascist or communist. I don't care. I'm not a big fan of this genre, but it's the only mecha anime I watch. Attack on Titan is a mecha anime. Let's discuss.
They're giants, right? They're giants. They don't look like Gundams. I'm not watching Code Geass, so that don't look like that either. Is he just saying they mecha because they giants? What?
What is there to discuss? There's nothing to discuss.
You know what?
No,
he's right.
No, don't.
Yes,
he's right.
Question: is Ratatouille a mecha? Because if it's like a
Oh
time is,
my God.
Ratatouille's a mecha.
Technically, it could be.
Oh my God.
Technically, it could be. But if AOT is not mecha, then what about Eva?
I don't know if I have an answer for you guys. Attack on Titan being a mecha, I mean, technically it is, because we do know that the Titan shifters, obviously they operate at the nape of the Titan, and then they're able to really protect themselves, and once they hop out of that form, they're still alive. It does operate kind of like a nightmare from Kogias, or, you know, I mean, it does. It kind of is.
Sure.
I don't know. This is tough, man. This is tough because it's technically not a mecha, but it is a mecha. I'm going to go with mecha. I don't like saying it is for obvious reasons, but it kind of is.
Someone please explain to me all the hate behind Beast Gohan. Because quite frankly, I don't get it. I understand that people are saying, well, he didn't train, and all of a sudden he's stronger than Goku. But again, this isn't new. Also, he didn't fully stop training. They showed this as well in the movie. He even said he was training Special Beam Cannon in secret, and whenever Piccolo tried to do one of those sneak attacks on him, it didn't work. I mean, the first time. The second time it did. So he wasn't completely rusty like he used to be. But let's rewind all the way back to Revival of F and talk about Frieza, who seems to be everyone's favorite character or a favorite villain in Dragon Ball. Frieza self-admitted that he has never trained, and yet the only way you could defeat him was by obtaining a legendary transformation of the Super Saiyan. Not only that, but after so-called training, but just for a small amount of time, he went from all the way to Super Saiyan level to Super Saiyan Blue level. Skipped Super Saiyan God.
That is true. Golden Frieza was
is
there.
that the training that you guys would want? Because they're both prodigies. So I personally don't understand why anyone cares on how someone achieves this new power that eclipses the old power. I think the entire point is that it's ridiculous that they keep eclipsing each other whenever they're getting more and more powerful every single time. So this whole not liking Beast Gohan because he didn't train for it, I don't know. To me, it just seems silly. But
I think it's because Gohan hasn't been that guy, from what I've heard, for a while now. You know, and Goku has been getting all these power ups. We've been seeing Goku train and everything. I guess it's not that. I guess it's just a sense of they just wanted to see him train because they just wanted to see the progress towards Gohan Beast. But I mean, I get where he's coming from though. He's a prodigy, so it shouldn't really take much for him to be great. You know what I'm saying? But I understand both sides.
let me know what y'all think.
As a Gohan fan, allow me to add some insight to this, because I have been on both sides of the fence when you're talking about Gohan Beast form. Do I think the form looks cool and is powerful and is awesome? Yes. Do I like how it was portrayed and how he got there? No. I can speak for myself as a Gohan fan, so I can't speak for all the Gohan fans out there. For me, it was the hidden potential that Gohan had back in Super Saiyan 2 against Cell that I felt like Gohan had already unlocked his hidden potential. And when Gohan Beast came along, it looked like there was another hidden potential underneath the hidden potential. So now we are seeing an endless amount of hidden potentials, and now it's like, how much potential is hidden? What's left? Is there another?
But that's Dragon Ball though. Goku get a new form every arc. So it seems like everybody has a hidden potential in some sense. We just got Piccolo, everybody getting new forms. Vegeta has gotten a new form. Frieza has gotten a new form. Everybody gets new forms. So it's not that bad. You know, him getting a new form isn't that bad, because everybody else around him is getting new forms. So it's like, can you really get mad at that?
Hidden potential? Is there another latent power after the latent power after the latent power? Is hidden potential inception? Like, at what point are we going to say, all right, hold on, he already unlocked his hidden potential, now let's let him get into the lab and train up? That's what I feel like as a Gohan fan I wanted to see, and maybe some others wanted to see as well, because we did not get to see those elite training sessions that helped him achieve that transformation. And I think if you allow Gohan to keep leveling up through this fashion, it creates a very dangerous precedent for characters like Broly. Broly is another huge character in the Dragon Ball franchise that works off of hidden potential, hidden power. At some point, are we going to say, okay, Ultra Instinct Broly is using his hidden potential, now he's Broly Beast? At what point are we going to say the hidden potential stuff has to calm down, let's see them get into the lab? And then we're seeing that Broly was training with Whis and Beerus and Goku and Vegeta. We got to see all of that happening. That's what the Gohan fans, at least for me, that's what I wanted to see happen with Gohan. Gohan, you get in the lab with Beerus and Whis, and then when we see Gohan Beast pop out, it doesn't look like it just came out of nowhere. Frieza is a very interesting case, but because Frieza was used as a tool for us to see Super Saiyan Blue, it was kind of overshadowed. Dragon Ball Superhero was a Gohan centered movie, so we wanted to to see Gohan in the lab a little bit so that form made sense, because even as you said, Golden Frieza was in the lab and that's how that form was achieved. We got to see Frieza actually train. Gohan, it didn't look like he was in the lab at all. And even if Gohan was in the lab, it would happen off screen.
Who would win in a fight? The Jujutsu Kaisen verse or the Mob Psycho verse? Realistically, the question here is, can anyone from the Mob Psycho verse bypass Gojo's Infinity? Because honestly, majority of verses are just way stronger than Jujutsu Kaisen. The only problem they have is that nobody in their said verse can bypass Gojo's Infinity.
You see what's interesting about
so.
that
I
is
think so.
I felt like a lot of JJK fans, especially in recent videos, have been debating with people outside of the JJK fandom in the comment section because they are trying to figure out whether characters of other verses can get past the domain expansion that Gojo has, obviously the infinite domain expansion. Here's the thing with Unlimited Void, at least to me. If Gojo breaks out an Unlimited Void, a lot of anime characters are going to be struggling with that. But where I have an issue is that people are acting like Gojo cannot be speed blitzed. As far as we know, there are many anime characters out there that are much faster than Gojo. So even if the domain expansion, the Unlimited Void, is an unbeatable move, quote unquote, because I do think there are some characters that may be able to withstand it. Last time I checked, Gojo is not the fastest anime character of all time. Gojo being speed blitz is definitely something that can happen. Do I think Mob can do it? Let's see what he has to say.
And honestly, I think Mob by himself would be able to beat the verse, including Gojo. Here's the thing with Gojo's Infinity. Any attack that travels at him that has a certain speed gets completely stopped by it unless that attack is faster than infinite speeds. With Mob, however, his attacks are not physical at all. He mainly relies on his telekinetic ability, so I don't see him having a single reason not to be able to bypass Infinity since he has no physical attacks. He also has astral projection where he can literally leave his own body and just enter other people's bodies and take them over. So
that's absolutely true. He can do that.
Damn, I
and
forgot
Mob
about that.
also was boxing against Mogami, literally destroying a whole parallel dimension in that battle. Like Mob is on a serious level too.
honestly, I think Mob alone would be able to take out the entire Jujutsu Kaisen verse.
The only issue I may have with Mob is when you're talking about triple question mark Mob, you know, unlimited power Mob, he has a problem controlling it. And I think that is something that maybe the JJK verse can exploit if there are teaming up together. But if Mob is in triple question mark mode and he's able to somehow take out Gojo and Sukuna instantaneously, or he tackles them first, then I don't think Yuta or anybody else has a chance. All right, we got my guys over at that One Piece talk, man. How strong is Blackbeard? Let's see what they got to say.
Relying as you want, we know how that ends up. Anybody that has a fair amount of decency in hockey is just going to overcome that person. The reason why Law struggles against Blackbeard right now is because he lacks the hockey. The reason why Marco happened to struggle against him, why? Marco was Devil Fruit reliant. The reason why Ace struggled against Blackbeard because Ace was Devil Fruit reliant. And also, everybody likes to bring up the only physical feat that Blackbeard truly has, which is 12 plus years ago against a Shanks that is much weaker than the Shanks that's currently here right now. So that's not really possible to bring up as evidence to say that Blackbeard is strong. Mihawk got stronger after the 12 years that him and Shanks fought. So comparing Shanks and Mihawk together and saying they're both the peaks back then is just impossible to say, because if so, then that means they would have got one shot by Magellan, the same way Blackbeard got one shot by Magellan. These are things that happen to Blackbeard all the time. So since he's a Devil Fruit reliant character, the hockey is starting to get there, that's a good step in the right direction for his character to be strong. But ultimately, he hasn't fought anybody that has really been Admiral competition, even First Commander competition, except Law. And it's still up for debate if he can even beat King or Katakuri. Many people would say that Law would win because of favoritism, but realistically speaking, Law is going to go to the extremes with both of those characters. And we're not even mentioning Ben Beckman. When you put it into perspective, everything that Blackbeard lacks is what Luffy has. Luffy has better control over his Devil Fruit than Blackbeard does of the Yami and Goro. Why? Because it takes time to learn those two Devil Fruits, where Luffy says, I'm taking the time to master my Devil Fruit and master the hockeys that it takes to completely obliterate you.
Beautifully said by Larry, but I don't know. I can't go as far as saying, you know, Katakuri and King could be in that conversation. But I do understand what he's saying, because when you're looking at Blackbeard going up against the likes of an S-Hawk, the first thing that comes to mind is the hockey needs some work. If this is what's happening, because we see Zoro boxing with S-Hawk and everything, if Blackbeard is getting sent back flying crazy, he needs more work on his hockey, because as Kaido has stated, hockey transcends all. Roger was able to
I can't wait till they get to the point to explaining why Blackbeard has the multiple devil fruits. I get it. We have our theories of him having multiple personalities, multiple bodies, multiple stomachs, or whatever. I really just want to get that figured out, though.
Bring the world to heel because he had the best hockey. At least these are Kaido's words. So when we look at Blackbeard, we can infer that end of series Blackbeard will be that top 3 level threat in One Piece. Some people have him #1 right now. For whatever reason, I cannot get behind it because I have not seen any advanced Conqueror's feats from Blackbeard, and I think that all of the advanced Conqueror's users would be able to defeat Blackbeard in a 1v1. Law does not have access to advanced Conquerors as far as we know, so Law definitely was struggling, but we do know that Law is most likely going to get his hockey up. Can Blackbeard get his hockey up? He is a Yonko, but he's also an opportunist, and really what he's been focusing on is building up his crew and giving them insane devil fruits. You have Avala Pizarro, you have all of these people that have island fruits. Katarina Devon can shapeshift, you know, Von Auger can use warp. He's been building up his crew to have the most cheese devil fruits possible, but we all know if the hockey ain't right, he's going night-night. As of right now, I can't put Blackbeard in that top 1 category where some people in the One Piece community have him because his hockey is not looking right. If it was looking right, he would have stayed there when Rayleigh pulled up on him in Amazon Lily. He would have knocked out S-Hawk and we wouldn't be even worrying about Law because Law would be dead, but the hockey's not there. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below whether you agree or disagree with any of these takes. And again, make sure you guys show love to all these content creators, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, see you guys next time. Peace.
All right, that's the end of the video. That was a good video. You know, good debates, whatever. I haven't did a video like this in a minute. I got to get back into watching anime. I haven't watched anime in probably a couple months. It's been a minute. Like, I have not been keeping up. So I got to get back into it. I'm gonna watch that. What is it called? Frieren. I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I just got to get back into my anime bag. I haven't done that. I haven't been in my anime bag in a minute. You know, I haven't been caught up on the anime, so I'm gonna get back into that stuff. And once again, man, RP Akira Toriyama. You will be missed. And I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace.